let's get into our first pose. So come to seated on your mat. If you have a blanket, I encourage you to fold it up the long way and sit on the edge of your mat. So it tilts your pelvis forward. And open your legs wide in a wide straddle. However wide as is comfortable for your body. So you can see for me, I don't have a lot of space here, and that's perfectly okay. If spreading your legs wide is uncomfortable for you, you can also take your block or maybe take an extra blanket or pillow and put it underneath each of your knees. If that doesn't work for you, you can bring your feet flat to the earth and then just open your legs wide as well. But I want to start in dragonfly or a wide straddle here. And I don't want you to fold. I just want you to sit up on the edge of your mat. You can bring your hands behind you if you want that support behind you, or you can bring your hands in front of you. They can be by your sides. I just want you to sit here and find your first edge. So for those of us that are new to Yin Yoga, there are 3 core principles that I need you to know. And the first is to find your edge, right? Begin the pose where you first feel something. So we say in Yin Yoga, if you're feeling it, then you're doing it. So in this saddle position, if you are feeling anything inside your legs, in your hips, maybe in your hamstrings, then you are doing the practice. Because the holds, which is the second principle of Yin Yoga, are so much longer than other types of yoga, we don't want to go to our fullest expression right away. Instead, we want to give the body an opportunity to drop into the pose or to surrender into the pose. So Yin Yoga poses are held from anywhere between 1 and 20 minutes. I promise you, we're not holding poses for 20 minutes today, but I'm not going to tell you how long we're holding them because the time is not important. What's important is the mindfulness and the stillness that you get when you're in the pose. Also, for those of you who are new, you notice that we didn't warm up, right? We just got into our first pose. When you warm up, you activate the muscles. And we're not so interested in the muscles in Yin Yoga. Instead, we're more interested in the connective tissues surrounding the muscles. So the fascia, the ligaments, the joints, all that good stuff that we never stretch or pay a lot of attention to. Yin Yoga also focuses a lot on the meridians of the body. So holding the poses helps us activate those meridians. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So once you find your first edge and you're holding the pose, the final principle is to commit to stillness. So I ask you to get into your pose and just stay there and let whatever comes up, come up. So maybe you'll have a surge of energy come up. Maybe you'll have emotions come up. Maybe you'll have body sensations come up. As long as those sensations are not pain, I encourage you to sit with them. But you know what pain is. If it's sharp, if it's electrical, if it's pulsating, if your body is telling you no, you listen to your body and come out of the pose. It's more important that you listen to yourself than it is that you listen to me. And just remember that you're not stuck. If your body is screaming at you, now, I have to get out of this pose, come out of the pose. Come out of the pose slowly and mindfully and rest and wait for the class to keep going. But if you're not having those pain sensations and the body is not screaming at you, then I encourage you to just be still. Still your body to the best of your ability and still your mind to the best of your ability. And also in terms of patterns today, I'm going to talk at the beginning of the pose, give you some information, some physical information about the body, also some information about what I'd like for you to meditate on, and then I'm going to be silent so that you can have time for yourself. So we started in this dragonfly. Ask your body if it has another edge. And if it does, fold forward to the amount that's comfortable for your body. For some of you, this might mean putting your elbows on blocks, like me. Others of you might be able to get your chest flat to the earth. Some of you who have your feet flat on the earth and your knees bent might also bring the block forward and fold. But again, ask your body what it wants. Maybe your body just wants to sit up where you are. And maybe you can go a little bit deeper. There's no particular breath pattern tonight. I just want you to take long inhales and exhales that are comfortable for your body. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Just breathe and be. If you fold it, slowly rise. Stack your shoulders over your hips. And then lean back. Bring your hands behind you. Lean back to release the hips first. And then slowly bring your legs together. So maybe you bring your ankles to touch, or maybe like me, you want to bend your knees slowly and mindfully. And then give your body whatever transition it needs here. So I'd like to take a little windshield wiper. Maybe you'd like to straighten your legs and bounce them out a little bit, or just rub your legs and give it a little love. So take a little yang movement by means of our transition, and then come back to stillness. Do nothing, just sit. Whatever position you find yourself in, maybe your feet are flat to the earth. Maybe your legs are long. Just sit for a moment. Rest, restore, recharge. Keep breathing. Stay with your inhales and your exhales. That was our first long hold, and I'm not physically with you, but I know you did great. And we'll take some space in between our poses today to just emphasize this stillness, this restoration part of the practice. And then when you're ready, we'll transition to our second pose. So you still might want to sit up on your blanket. Bring the soles of your feet towards each other and lean back, and then just rub the soles of your feet. So if you have on socks, I encourage you to take them out. Just rub the soles of your feet and create some friction and create some heat there. And then once you started to feel the heat, then just lower your feet down to the earth for butterfly pose. Since I'm slightly off my mat here, use the blanket for support, but you can be sitting on your blanket or use it under your ankles. If we were in a more yang practice, then you would want to have your glutes close to your groin. But because we're in a yin practice, bring those heels away from you and create a diamond shape with your legs. And again, our first edge will just be sitting up here. If you need more support under your knees, you can always take your blocks underneath your knees or ball up your blankets underneath your knees. With your hands, maybe you want your elbows to rest on your thighs. Maybe you want to lean forward just a little bit, not a full fold, but lean forward a little bit and massage your feet. I'm encouraging you to massage your feet because the kidney meridian is the meridian that we're focusing on today. The kidney meridian aligns with the winter season, and it starts outside your little toe, runs on the sole of the foot, so the ball of the foot underneath the third toe, before it loops around the ankle and then comes inside your legs. So in the straddle pose that we did earlier, we were working the kidney meridian inside our legs. And in this butterfly pose, we're also working the kidney meridian inside our legs. And you can see from the image here, then the kidney meridian branches to the front of the body. And we'll also work the front of the abdomen and the body as well. So I invite you today to focus on your kidney energy, whether that's the kidney meridian running inside the legs or the front of the body, or whether that's your actual kidneys in your back body. So the kidneys are these little bean-shaped organs about the size of your fist in your back body. So I encourage you to make little fists, right, and put them on your kidneys. Helps us open the heart a little bit while we're here too. And take a deep breath and just send some energy and some love and some gratitude to your kidneys with me. So we'll inhale and exhale all that goodness. You can feel free to keep your fists at your kidneys if that works well for you. Maybe you also give them a little massage here. And I want to show you another image of the kidneys that reminds us how much of the kidney is an actual seed. So on the left, with the pink background, we have the human kidneys in the body. And on the right, we have the kidney bean, right, as a seed. So another one of the themes for today is to seed. And I invite you to meditate on what you want to seed for 2022 as we send our intention to the kidney meridians and also the physical kidneys. Breathe here. And if your body has another edge, then you can hinge forward and fold. Again, if you have a block, you can make use of it. You can bring your elbows to the block. Or for me, I could turn the block the tall way and then eventually get my forehead to the block. If you don't need to sit on your blanket, you can also fold the blanket up. Or if you have a bolster or a pillow, you can put it on your thighs to help you hold. But just surrender to this seed position and breathe. In addition to thinking of the kidney as a seed, we can also think of the shape of the kidney as an ear. And so this is an additional moment for us to go yinside and listen to our bodies as we fold. If your body has another edge, maybe you fold a bit deeper. When you're ready, on an inhale, slowly rise. Keep your legs where they are. Just bring those shoulders back over the hips. Lean back so the shoulders are beyond the hips. Release them first. And then slowly, slowly straighten out the legs. Give them whatever movement they're calling for. A rock side to side feels good for me here. As we had another deep fold for some of you, a reverse tabletop might be good. Feet as wide as the hips, fingers pointing forward, hips up to the sky. But you were just listening to your body, so continue to do so. Give it whatever it's asking for by means of a transition. And then come to stillness again. Just sit. Wherever you are, just sit. Rest, reflect, restore, recharge. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll move into child's pose for our next pose. So come to hands and knees first. If you're familiar with child's pose, you know what to do. Some of you might like extra padding, using that blanket underneath your knees or underneath your ankles. Maybe blanket support is required between your glutes and your heels. Another option is to fold the blanket again and use it underneath your abdomen. So open your knees as wide as your mat Bring your big toes to touch behind you. Because again, we're rocking that kidney meridian. So we're going to open the inner legs again so we can work on that. And this time, we're also working on the front of the body. So we're going to lower the front of the body and the forehead to the earth. So again, maybe a blanket or a pillow supports you here if you need a little extra support. If child's pose is really uncomfortable for you and you need to be, your glutes need to be off your heels a little bit, that's okay too. Again, because we're working on the physical kidneys, I encourage you to bring your arms behind you and then interlace your hands behind your back. So the arms are nearly resting on your kidneys. And then breathe here. So we're working the kidney meridians. We're touching the physical kidneys with our arms. And even though this is child's pose, I want you to think of it as embryo tonight, because a kidney kind of looks like an embryo as well. And they say the very first cell cluster of an embryo develops into the kidneys. So in traditional Chinese medicine, they say that your original qi, your original life force, is found within your kidneys. And so maybe the kidneys hold the answers to our destiny. Maybe the kidneys are holding our ancestral information, our genetic and energetic inheritance. The kidneys are linking our past to our future. The kidneys also store our jing, or vital life essence. So I encourage you to meditate on your origins in this embryo pose and how those origins may link to your future. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. And I know child's pose can be kind of intense on the knees. So we'll get ready to transition. So if your hands are interlaced behind your back, release them. If your hands are by your sides, just reach your hands forward. Reach your hands forward. Open up the side body. And this is tadpole. And maybe you'll stay here in tadpole. Maybe you want a little bit more and you want to come into full frog. So to do that, just raise your hips up so that the hips are stacked over the knees. Open your feet out so the toes are pointing to the side. Your knees are wide, probably a little wider than your mat. And you continue to extend those hands forward to maybe bring your chest to the earth. Again, a blanket or a block could be really useful here. I'll turn so you can see me better. So your knees as wide as they comfortably go, toes pointing out to each side, lowering your chest towards the earth. Or maybe you just come down to your elbows. Or maybe you stay in tadpole where you're in embryo and your arms are reaching forward. This pose is a little more fiery than the poses we were in before. And that's intentional because I want you to think of the kidneys also as batteries for the body. So this is the pose that reminds us that the kidneys recharge and energize us. So breathe here, find your edge, don't go any further than your edge. Breathe into the physical places where you feel any. Again, maybe that's in the inner legs. We're still getting into that kidney meridian here. Next, we're coming to our bellies. So some of you might just be able to crawl your hands forward and come to your bellies. Others of you might need to bring your hands towards the body first, walk the knees in, and then come down to your belly. On our bellies, we'll transition into Sphinx pose. If you've taken any yin class with me before, you know I always include Sphinx. It's my favorite pose. Lots of options here. I like to have my elbows underneath my shoulders and my palms flat to the earth. If that's too intense for your low back, then maybe walk the elbows forward a little bit, take some of the pressure out. Maybe just extend the arms flat, or create a pillow with your hands and bring your forehead down to the earth. You can also bend your elbows and prop your head up in your hands and support your chin with your hands. Your legs can be wherever you want them. Maybe you want your ankles to touch. Maybe you want your feet to be wide. Maybe you want to bend your knees. Find the sweet spot that works for you. And remember, find your first edge. So maybe you'll start with your legs flat to the earth, but then when the body starts to open, maybe you'll be able to bend your knees and find another edge. Remember, if you're feeling it, you're doing it. The Sphinx pose is important to our flow tonight because we are on the abdomen, so that's the kidney meridian in the front of the body. And also the back bend is compressing our kidneys, our physical kidneys. So again, we're working the kidney meridian and we're working the physical kidneys. The kidneys represent our willpower. So when our kidney energy is in balance, we feel confident and courageous. We're able to respond to the events that happen in life as opposed to reacting to them. Healthy kidney balance helps us deal with stressful situations. It helps us with our self-awareness. It reminds us of who we are in the world. Rest, repair, restore, re-energize in your Sphinx pose. You also might find it useful to have a blanket underneath your arms. There's a lot of pressure here for you. This might also help. Stay with your breath. If your thoughts wander, just bring them back to kidney energy. Breathe. If your knees are bent, release the feet back to the earth. Release your elbows, come down to your belly. Make a pillow with your hands. Maybe rock your hips from side to side. Release that compression in the low back. And then when you're ready, just roll over and come to lying on your back. We'll transition into bridge pose now. So if you do have that block, here's where it comes in handy. Soles of the feet flat to the earth, knees point to the sky. The block goes on your sacrum, not on your kidneys, not on your back. The block aligns with your pelvis. If you have a block, I recommend you use the lowest height. Maybe this is you right here in the pose. Some of you might be able to straighten your legs, but ask your body if that's what it wants. If you do not have the block, then we'll use our blanket. Hold it the long way and then fold it in half. So you've got like a thicker weight to your blanket. And then use that blanket again, right underneath your sacrum. And then come to lying down on the earth. Again, knees can point towards the sky, or you can extend your legs long. It's a little more on the front of the body in the hip flexors. If you extend your legs long. In bridge pose, soften your lower back. Soften those kidneys. Again, send more kidney energy to your low back. Think about what you want to see for 2022. And stay with your breath. Again, no breath pattern for today, but don't hold your breath. Continue to inhale and exhale. When our kidney energy is low, we often feel like we don't have the strength and the determination to deal with the challenges that come our way in life. And so by concentrating and developing on this kidney energy, we are increasing that willpower and self-determination. It increases when you say it will. So send that love to your kidneys, send that love to yourself. Breathe. If you extended your legs long, bring the soles of the feet back to the earth. Once your feet are firmly planted on the earth, gingerly lift up your hips and remove your blanket or your block. Keep that blanket nearby though. Squeeze your knees into your chest. Give yourself a hug and massage those kidneys by rocking from side to side. Maybe taking small circles if that feels good in one direction and then the other direction. And then bring both knees over to the right for a twist. You can use your blanket maybe to support your knees here or block if they're not comfortably on the earth. Your hands can be wherever you like them to be. You can extend them wide into a T, or you could bend them at 90 degrees, or you could just rest them on your body. Your vision can be up to the ceiling, or your vision can turn in the same direction as your knees to the right, or you can take your vision to the left. When we twist, we wring out the body's organs. The kidneys filter and detoxify. So meditate in this moment on what it would mean to release everything that you don't need for 2022. What do you want to filter? What do you want to detoxify? Only keep what it is that you need to germinate your seed. Breathe. Slowly rebound your knees back to center. Squeeze them into your chest and massage the kidneys again. Side to side, circles. And then rock over to your left side, the yin side. And if that blanket is nearby, I encourage you to use the blanket to cover yourself up. We're going to end practice in our embryo or fetal position. The embryo again reminds us to seed. So get comfortable here. If you want to rest your head on a pillow, definitely cover yourself in that blanket. Curl yourself into a kidney. And let the magic of the winter solstice wrap itself around you. Everyone is so quick to send light. Light's great, but there's also a lot of beauty in darkness. Think about that and think about, again, what you'd like to see in 2022. Now notice, I didn't say what you'd like to achieve or where you'd like to go or who you'd like to be with. Instead, meditate in our final posture on how you want to feel in 2022. Breathe and seed.
And that is our hour. Feel free to stay in your meditative state longer if you would like to.